Then I ask you to play a solo. And it says good choice, too easy, too difficult, or inappropriate. Unfortunately, I can't really go into a list of prescribed pieces per orchestra because it doesn't really work like that. There are certain pieces that you will play that may not qualify you for symphony or principal orchestra. But again, that's hard to say, because if you play an easier piece and you play it really, 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 really well, I mean like perfectly, with perfect rhythm, perfect intonation, perfect tone, perfect style, perfect everything, then I'm going to know that you're a good player, right? If you play a piece that's too hard and you play it badly, then you're going to get scored appropriately. But for me to stand here and say, okay, in order to get into, now I'm just throwing a piece out there, so don't, Mr. Heisey said if I play this piece I'm going to get into concert orchestra. No, I'm not saying that. Let's say you played the Seitz Concerto in A minor. That has a certain skill level to it. It's in third position, it's got some stuff, and that will tell me a lot. But just because you played that piece does not mean that you will get into string or concert or symphony. There's a wide range of things that we look at. So if a teacher says to you, this piece will get you into symphony orchestra, or this piece will get you into principal orchestra, may not. Okay? And if you play an easier piece and you play it well, your teacher might be wrong anyway. This piece gets you into concert orchestra. Well, if you play it really well and you do well on your sight reading and all of that stuff, you might qualify for symphony. You can't judge it on the piece. So I'm not going to give you a list of pieces to practice to get into different orchestras. So, you start your solo. And we look at I should back up to scales for a second. The other thing that I'm looking at from the very start, talking about first impressions, the one is immediately when you start your scale, whether you play a clarinet, a flute, a trumpet, a violin, a viola, a cello, a bass, whatever you play, within the first 30 seconds of your audition, I can tell whether you have a good bow hold. I can tell whether you're set up on this side appropriately, with your wrist down, your hand is fairly relaxed, your thumb is in the right position, you're bending your thumb on this side of the bow, your fingers are down, your pinky's up, your instrument is level, you've got a shoulder rest. If you're a clarinet player, for example, you've got a good tight embouchure, the clarinet's at the right angle, your fingers are curved, you're not playing like this, that you have good breath support, good tone, you play in tune, all of that within the first 30 seconds of your audition. And that's all based on the scale. So practice your scales, okay? Then, during the piece, we take a closer look at intonation. You see here, it says 5 points, are all the notes in tune. 4 points, most of the notes. 3 points, some of the notes. 2 points, many notes are out of tune. 1, most notes are out of tune. So there's a wide range of possibilities. Tone quality. Is it a full characteristic tone for that instrument? Do you sound like a violinist? Do you sound like a trumpet player? Do you sound like a trombone player? The with vibrato general, you say with vibe after number 5 there. That would be with vibrato. Instruments that are appropriate to have vibrato. Does the sound, do they use it? Is it well oiled? Does the vibrato work? Characteristic with some vibrato. Now again, flutes, clarinets, oboes, some can play with vibrato, some can't. But that's really sort of says, is it a mostly characteristic sound? Does it approach sounding like a violin or what a clarinet should sound like? 3, nice tone. I didn't do the sheet. It works really well. This is a Bob and Dorothy thing from years ago. But nice tone means, well, you're getting there. It sounds kind of like a violin. It sounds kind of like a clarinet. but it's not fantastic, not horrible either. You get 3 points for that. Scratchy. And weak. So we have a wide range that we look at. And you get 5, if you get all of your tone, then you get 5 points. Rhythm. Really important. All rhythms accurate. 5 points. And I mean all rhythms accurate. I'm a stickler for rhythm, especially in auditions. All rhythms. If you miss one, I will not give you 5 points because not all of the rhythms were correct. Rhythm is a big deal. Then it says most accurate, some accurate, many inaccurate, most inaccurate. And we hear a wide range.